While Star Wars uses certain themes and elements shown from different angles, no one can deny that Order 66 plays an important part in the Star Wars story, and its effects span from the end of the prequel trilogy through the sequel trilogy. But is it being overused? Short answer, not at all. And today I'm going to explain why it isn't overused and why it should be told more going forward. But first, a word from our sponsor, me. Hit the subscribe button and give the video a thumbs up. Okay, let me start this off by explaining my first statement. Yes, there can come a time when Order 66 could be used too much. For instance, showing it in every story that comes out. But we aren't to that point yet, and they should continue using it occasionally moving forward. And here's why. Order 66 was introduced in the 2005 Star Wars prequel film, Revenge of the Sith. It showed that the clones of the Grand Army of the Republic were programmed to turn on their Jedi counterparts when the order was given from none other than Emperor Palpatine himself, aka Darth Sidious, aka Chancellor Palpatine. But since then, the moments of Order 66 have been shown numerous times through the eyes of different characters surviving the traumatic event. Most of these events have been told of Anakin Skywalker's and his 501st Legion's attack on the Jedi Temple, while others have been shown from the far reaches of space, and some even happening in the middle of a battle during the Clone Wars. In Revenge of the Sith, we see the end of the Jedi from multiple perspectives, one from inside the Jedi Temple and many from across the galaxy during the Clone Wars. Since then, we have had so many more iterations and perspectives of the famous event, ranging from the point of view of Kanan Jarrus, Reva, the third sister from the Kenobi series, Cal Kestis, the protagonist of the Jedi Fallen Order video game series, Ahsoka Tano, and Grogu, or Baby Yoda if you prefer, and even one from Maul, formerly Darth Maul. And it looks like we're going to get another bit of it from Grogu again. But with all these different angles of the same event, is it too much? Nope. Order 66 affected tens of thousands of lives, ending most of them. Each Star Wars character who survived Order 66 has a story to tell, each with different outcomes from the same experience. If we weren't shown how Grogu survived Order 66, we would wonder why it has never been mentioned, even though he's 50 years old and was a youngling during that time. To explain why Reva was wanting revenge against Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader at this point, we need to know why. How Ahsoka Tano escaped is also some much needed material. Each person has different accounts of the events and can help us paint a larger picture. Not to mention, even in real life, we're curious about how people cope with traumatic events. Let's put it this way. How many people do you know that were around for 9/11 of 2001? And out of those people, how many have you asked about it? Whether it be what they were doing at the time, how strange the world seemed on that day, or if they knew anyone who survived or lost their life. It's a moment in time of great tragedy, and those who weren't around for it have not experienced the world pre-9/11. But do we say 9/11 is talked about too much? Not at all, and we shouldn't. Those who suffered the most deserve the respect of keeping their memories alive. Well, the same goes for Order 66. It was a turning point in the Star Wars galaxy, actually the turning point. Prior to the execution of the Jedi were one constant in the galaxy. Guardians of peace and justice, always seen as good. The good triumphing over the evil Sith in wars of the past. It wasn't until the Clone Wars that public opinion began to shift, from one of admiration of the Jedi to one of uncertainty in their actual cause, and that was due to their involvement in the Clone Wars. Jedi were now fighting for the Republic, rather than being neutral and allowing the war to pan out as it may. But taking a side in the war and leading troops, it put the Jedi closer to those who would betray them and attempt to wipe them out, with much success. But as the Jedi were being exterminated, the galaxy changes from one of peace and a certain amount of prosperity and freedom to one of imperialistic regime whose goal was galactic domination and occupation. Where at one time the Jedi were there to protect the citizens, There were now no checks and balances to stop the new regime. Order 66 changed everything, but that's the political and war side of it. The individuals who survived have stories that are much more personal. Their escape is important to their attitudes, fears, and who they are now, even after the Empire is gone. There are scars from their own survivals, and even though we have seen Order 66 play out many times, it makes us feel even more compassionate for those who have stories to tell, and we cheer them on for fighting back, even though we know Ahsoka Tano is fighting men that she trusted, men who changed their helmets to resemble her out of admiration for her just before the event. Those men had instantly become the enemy, and we see her caring for them when she attempts to escape without killing them. Ahsoka Tano is one character who had to deal with her own demons of Order 66 for many years to come. She had to live through it a second time when finding out Darth Vader was her former master, Anakin Skywalker, some 16 to 17 years later. Then she had to face Darth Vader after he tracked her to the Sith Temple in Malachor. I could do an entire video on Ahsoka and the effects Order 66 had on her. What would it have been like to relive those memories as she told Luke Skywalker about his father? I would imagine it would have been similar to how Obi-Wan Kenobi felt when he tried to explain it. In The Mandalorian, we see the contrast of Ahsoka Tano with Grogu. From what we've seen so far, he wasn't able to fight, and he was at the mercy of those around him to protect him. Remember, he was only around 21 years old at this time, probably equivalent to a 2-year-old in his species. He didn't have the experience or strength that Ahsoka Tano had. He wasn't close to the clones committing the atrocity, and he may not have even known any of them at all. But while telling his tale to Ahsoka, it would have brought up her own emotional scars. In The Bad Batch, we see another way to escape in Caleb Doom, later known as Kanan Jarrus, as he ran from the situation, then had to face his fears later in life due to his regrets. But showing Order 66 in The Bad Batch wasn't just about telling Caleb Doom's story. It was about Crosshair and how he splintered away from his brothers of Clone Force 99, a tragic event causing another tragic event. Then on top of that, it was about how the remaining Bad Batch clones came to be on the run from the Empire after defying the orders and without one of their brothers. In the Clone Wars Season 7, we've seen Captain Rex break down and cry during Order 66 because of how powerless he was of the situation. His brothers were out to kill him and Ahsoka Tano, yet he knew the truth as to why and couldn't do anything to stop it. This cursed war had made good men into unwitting villains. Rex then became a fugitive for becoming an enemy of the state when he helped Ahsoka Tano escape after facing off against his own clone forces and brothers. Rex may have been proud that he didn't follow through with the order fully, but it still left him scarred and full of regret. We also see a former Sith affected by Order 66 in the same arc. Maul, formerly known as Darth Maul, tried to warn Ahsoka Tano that it was going to happen, but she wouldn't listen. Once Anakin Skywalker was said to be involved. Maul survived Order 66, but not without his own scars. For a former villain turned anti-hero, we felt a certain amount of compassion for him. He spent the rest of his life in hiding, plotting revenge, a revenge he would never see to come to fruition. All different angles of Order 66 are necessary, and there will likely be many more to come. We may not see it play out, but Commander Cody certainly has a story to tell from the other side of the blaster. It wasn't just the heart-wrenching personal stories. Order 66 changed the galaxy forever. It emboldened those who would do anything to stop the rise of another Jedi Order and take power for themselves. It limited the number of Guardians of Peace and Justice to just a few, from more than 10,000 before Order 66. So no, we can never get too many stories from the event that affected so many lives and changed the dynamic of the galaxy for the foreseeable future. It will go down in the history books as the moment the Jedi died, and peace with them. And they probably shouldn't stop telling the tales of survival and loss, not just for us, but for the other beings in the Star Wars galaxy who may be doomed to allow this tragedy to repeat itself. And now, another word from our sponsor, me. Hit the subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, and leave a comment. But that's all I have for today. Until the next video, this is Gerald, a Star Wars fanatic, signing off, wishing you all great health, happiness, and peace. Thank you all for watching, and remember, this is the way, and positivity in the Star Wars fandom is the only way.